Welcome to the Illinois Association for College Admissions Counseling Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Christy and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Illinois. I'd like to now turn it over to our first presenter, University of Stirling.
Thanks, Christy. If you just bear with me, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Hopefully you guys can all see that now. Just to introduce myself, I'm Ali Clark and I'm Head of Student Recruitment at the University of Stirling. Some of you may be thinking, where is Stirling? But don't worry, I'm going to introduce you to that now. So Stirling is in the UK, but it's based in Scotland, and there are actually 4 universities represented tonight based in Scotland. So I feel it's only my duty to tell you a little bit about the Scottish system to save all the others having to go through that in their 6 minutes. So in terms of the higher education system, it's very, very similar to the US system. It's a 4-year degree system. And as a result of that, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of taking multiple subjects in your first couple of years. So there's a lot of sort of liberal arts style courses on offer in Scotland. In terms of our location, well, obviously, as you can see here, Stirling is in the heart of Scotland. So if you're keen to explore Scotland, find the Loch Ness Monster, get to know the cosmopolitan cities, as well as go hill walking, then it's a very centrally located university. I can tell you a little bit more about Stirling. Well, we're a very medium-sized university in Scotland. Some of the largest ones have over 30,000 students. We've got 14,000 students, and we're a campus-based university, which means that all our teaching facilities, accommodation, sports facilities, everything is in the one location, which is really super handy. We're known as Scotland's University for Sporting Excellence, and last year we were also voted UK Sports University of the Year. But if you're like me and not that into sports, don't worry, there's a sport for all levels. So if you want to try something new and you're a beginner, there's something for you as well. We're also really proud of our national student survey student satisfaction rating. So we're in the top 20 in the UK, and that's voted for by students in terms of their learning and teaching. So it's a really important accolade. This is our beautiful campus here. It's probably one of the most Scottish campuses. It's got its own 9-hole golf course. It's got its own loch, which is that lake that you can see in the middle. And it's also got its own castle as well. And like I said already, it's a campus-based university. So we've got over 2,000 student halls on the beautiful campus, as well as delis, pharmacy, medical practice, a wide range of cafes and restaurants, and we even have our own movie theatre. For those of you, some of you might have seen the film Braveheart. Obviously I did because I'm so old, but if you have seen the film Braveheart with Mel Gibson, he plays one of Scotland's national heroes, and as a result of that, the world premiere was actually hosted on our movie theatre on Stirling's campus. So there's a fun fact for you. In terms of the subjects, we've got 5 faculties, everything from the management school to arts and humanities, natural sciences, health sciences and sport, and last but not least, social sciences. And we've got one of the most ultra flexible curriculums at Stirling. So when you're taking those multiple subjects, you can actually take them cross faculty as well. In terms of our entry requirements, we became test optional last year, and that is due to continue. But if you are submitting a test, then those are some of the scores that we're looking for there. In addition to that, we would be looking for an academic reference as well as a personal statement. So that's a statement about yourself, why you're interested in Stirling and why you're interested in the subject that you're applying for. And the methods of applying, we accept Ucas, obviously, that's a UK-wide application system, but we also accept the Common App at Stirling and direct applications as well. We have a wide range of scholarships. Obviously, you would expect us, being Scotland's University for Sporting Excellence, to have sports scholarships, but we also have undergraduate international scholarships as well. And we also have administrators that look after FAFSA, Sally May, GI Bill as well. So don't worry, you're not lost. We do have support there for you. In terms of tuition fees, these have just been announced for next year. So it depends if you're doing a lab-based subject. So it depends if you're doing a science subject or if you're doing a classroom-based subject. So you're looking about sort of just over $21,000 for a classroom and about $25,000 for lab-based subjects. But we have one of the lowest living costs in the UK in Stirling. So you're looking about £8,000 to £10,000, which is, well, £8,000, about $11,000. In terms of accommodation, there are no meal plans, it's all self-catered. But don't worry, if you're not good at cooking, we've got a wide range, like I say, of cafes and restaurants on the campus, so you won't starve, don't worry. And we also have grocery stores as well. We've got 24/7 staff support. If you have any problems, any needs, then they will obviously help. And it's all single bedrooms. You tend to find in Scotland most of the student accommodation is single bedrooms only. So I'll just finish up here because I see Christy has just popped up on the screen. But if you want to get in touch, please feel free to drop me an email at my email address or scan the QR code and we can send you some more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will now turn it over to our next university, University of Aberdeen.
Hi everyone, I'll just share my screen quickly with you. My name is Amy Easton and I am the recruitment manager for the Americas at the University of Aberdeen. Unlike Ali, you might recognize my accent. I'm originally from California, but have done my undergrad degree and my master's here in Scotland. So I'm just trying to get this to share. Here we go. So the University of Aberdeen is located in the actual city of Aberdeen. It's one of our largest cities, so it's known as the third largest city in Scotland. But when you look at Scotland, we are pretty tiny when it comes to everything. And that's about 200,000 people, so just over that. So we are small in the terms of world-sized cities, but third largest for Scotland. So it really has everything from historic buildings to shopping malls, everything you could need from a city. That's what Aberdeen has to offer. The university itself, though, we are Scotland's third oldest university and actually the UK's fifth oldest. So we were founded in 1495, making us over 500 years old. We're a medium-sized university, so about 14,500 students. Of that, about 34% are actually international. So we do welcome over 120 different nationalities each year. We are offering over 350 undergraduate degrees, in addition to 150 top postgraduate degrees. So we do like to think we have something to offer for everyone. And you'll be in good company because we have a lot of famous and world-impacting alumni, including our 5 Nobel Prize winners that have graduated from the university. Now, one of my top things that I enjoy is this fact here that Aberdeen is one of the top 10 most beautiful historic universities in the UK. And some other things just to note about our rankings, we have been voted top 5 overall for student satisfaction in the NSS survey, a top 20 UK university according to The Guardian, and we're also just had the rankings out that we're a world top 160 university according to Times Higher Education World University Rankings. Now, when I talk about that historic, beautiful campus, it's really this King's College campus here. So this is our main university campus, and this is what you really think of a historic campus. So it's located in Old Aberdeen, which is really what it says on the tin. It's those old buildings, cobbled streets, very cute little black and white hand-painted signs on the streets. So it is a very nice place to be, very Scottish, and it is a true campus in the sense that everything is right next to each other. And we also have a separate Hillhead student village. So this is where all of our main university accommodation is built. We do guarantee our accommodation for first years. And as Ali said, it is all single bedroom. So it's all apartment style. And we do have the option for meal plans or no meal plans, depending on your preference. Other thing to note, oh, this is just some more beautiful pictures of our campus. So it is very much Hogwarts-like in its appearance. Now, this is just some of our accommodation. As you can see, it is standard accommodation, but we do have social spaces in that Hillhead area. So we've got big areas for you to socialize, study. We've got 24-hour support. We've got little cafes, laundrettes, and a bus station right there for you. So you're really well linked to the rest of the university. And the university is only about a 20-minute walk to our main city center. So from there, you can get anything that you need from the city, as well as our great transportation links to the rest of the UK. Now, the university itself actually offers our four-year undergraduate degree, and we have the 12 schools. So business school, education, divinity, history, philosophy, literature, languages, biological sciences, psychology, those are all very popular with our American students, but we do welcome students from the US to all 12 of our schools there. Now, entry for this year, we do have separate entry requirements depending on the type of degree you're looking to do. Our most common one is our MA degree, and although that looks like a master's, it really is just a quirk of the ancient university. So it is a four-year bachelor's degree and will translate as a four-year bachelor's degree. Overall, though, we're looking for a 3.0 GPA and plus one of those bullet points. So you don't need all three. You can either submit SATs, ACTs, or your 3 AP tests. If you're looking to do a math or a science or BSc, it is similar, still looking for that 3.0 plus either an SAT, an ACT, or one AP, and that needs to be in a math, biology, chemistry, or physics if you're looking to do a science or math with us. We do have other entry requirements for things like engineering, law, medicine, and so please check our website if those are degrees you're interested in. We are test optional for 2022, so if you are not able to sit any of those SATs or ACTs, definitely get in touch, let us know. But we'd still ideally like an AP for our math and science. But again, if you're not sure you can sit it, just let us know, we can take that into consideration. Now, we're also in Ucas. So Ucas is the standard UK application system. You can apply up to 5 schools. So if you're looking at more than one UK institution, Ucas is definitely your only option to apply. If you're only looking at Aberdeen and it's the only school that you think you'd like to apply to, or there's another school that accepts Common App can only be used for one institution in the UK. Otherwise, it's Ucas. So just quickly on our tuition fees, they usually range around 18,500 and then they work their way up. But most of our degrees are around 18,500 to 20,000. We do have international scholarships, so you can expect about £4,000 in your first year and then an additional £2,000 following that. Also accept our US financial aid. So just to finish off, I'm Amy Easton. My email is there. You can check us out on social media. We also have our podcast, Ask Aberdeen, that you can find on any of our podcast listening places. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have the University of Strathclyde.
Hi there, I'm Shannon Hersich from the University of Strathclyde. Strathclyde is a little more modern than the other two universities who presented, but we're still founded in 1796. So still quite an old university, especially in comparison to a lot of US universities. We have about 23,000 students, so about a mid-sized university in terms of US universities, but on the larger end, the third largest university in Scotland. We welcome students from over 100 different nations. Our university was awarded the UK University of the Year in 2019. We won this award for the second time in 2019, and we're the only UK university to have won this award twice, along with some other accolades that are listed there. The university itself is located right in the heart of the city center of Glasgow. The fantastic thing is, while you've got access to everything in Glasgow, you're also only about a 10-minute walk to both of the main train stations and bus stations in the city. So if you're looking to explore the UK, you're fantastically located. For example, to go down to London, it just takes about 4 hours on the train. There's also great links to the airport. The campus itself, while being in the city, is really quite a compact campus. So you can walk around the whole thing in about 15 minutes. And that means that when you're a student on the campus, the library, your accommodation, the sports center are all within an easy walking distance of wherever you're staying on campus. Glasgow is the largest and most cosmopolitan city of all the cities in Scotland. There's excellent shopping, fantastic nightlife, and we're also a UNESCO City of Music. Glasgow has some absolutely legendary music venues, and certainly you'll find every type of music offered around the world right in Glasgow, and we always get some fantastic American bands coming as well. You can just see a little map then of the university campus. As you can see, it really is quite compact, so you can walk around it quite easily. You're never more than, say, a 10 to 15-minute walk from any of your classes. Easy reach to Queen Street Station and Central Station, the main train stations, and George Square, which is kind of the city center. We've had a huge amount of campus investment over the last couple of years, and that's to continue until 2025. The Strathclyde Sports Centre was done up about 3 years ago, so there's really no excuse for you not to work out. We've got a great gym, a really fantastic pool, excellent machines, and really good classes on offer. The library has also been refurbished, and we have a brand new student union that's been opened just this September. So it's great in terms of hanging out in the evening, during the day to grab a bite to eat. And also all the student support services will be offered in this new learning and teaching building. We've had long links with the United States. We've got about 100 students studying at various levels on the campus. But in fact, our founder, John Anderson, used to accompany Benjamin Franklin when he came to visit Scotland. And a little fun fact for you, Scott Cooper, who was an alumni of Strathclyde, was the first Scotland-born player to play in the NFL. We offer 4 different faculties, so kind of main subject areas on the campus: engineering, science, humanities, and social sciences, and our Strathclyde Business School. We have lots of different subjects within these 4 faculties, and we offer about 200 different undergraduate degree programs. As my previous presenters have talked about, the Scottish system offers lots of flexibility. So students in the first and second year get lots of different options of what they might like to study, particularly in areas like humanities and social sciences and business as well. But the bachelor's degree program is a 4-year undergraduate degree program in Scotland, so just like the US. To apply to Strathclyde, you can just apply via Ucas. The entry requirements for this year continue to be flexible based on the events of the last couple of years. In terms of tuition, our tuition is about $16,000 to $22,000, depending on the course. And Glasgow is quite an affordable city in comparison to many other cities in the UK. We do offer on-campus student accommodation. It's guaranteed for our international students. And most students will live on campus for the first year, and then most move off campus, but just live in a flat very nearby campus for the other years of their degree program. We are FAFSA accredited, and we also offer a number of scholarships as well. In terms of student support services, then, as a large university, as you'd expect, We've got really great study skills and resources and different workshops to help students to support them academically on the campus. Our career service is excellent, whether you'd like to work during your time on the campus, or if you're looking for employment just after graduating. We've got an extensive international support team who will help you before you arrive on campus, as well as your full duration of your degree program. Our disability and well-being service will also help look after you while you're on the campus. And then our student union has great sports clubs, societies, and general advice for students. And then my contact details can just be found here, along with my 2 other colleagues who work as part of the Americas team. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Next, we will have the University of Essex.
Hi everyone, thank you very much. Oh, did that work? Hopefully you can see my screen to start my timer. Hi, my name is Emma and I work at the University of Essex in the Americas recruitment team. So far we've heard from some universities based in Scotland, and Essex is based in England. So just some key points as to why students from the US consider studying in England. Our degrees are 3 years in length. There are some exceptions, typically speaking, most of our degrees are 3 years. So it's perfect for students that know exactly what it is that they want to major in, because they will study that subject from the very first day. There's no general ed, and they graduate in 3 years. Our fees are very competitive. They do vary from institution to institution and of course from the degree programme. But typically speaking, you would be paying somewhere between $20,000 to $30,000 per year. And remember, it's only for 3 years. Lots of universities offer some very competitive scholarships, including international scholarships. Lots of us are FAFSA accredited as well, and we offer veteran benefits. Ucas has already been mentioned, so essentially that's our equivalent to the Common App. It's an online portal, and it's once you get your head around it, it's quite an easy way to apply to universities in the UK. The student route visa allows you to work on and off campus, and there are some really great opportunities to be paid to do internships. And our new 2-year post-study work visa enables you to stay in the UK post-studies and look for work. So those are reasons that students consider England in general. I'm going to tell you now about reasons why students in the US like the University of Essex. So we have 3 campuses located in Colchester, Southend and Loughton. They're all in Essex. Colchester is the largest of our campuses where most of our students are taught. They're all located within really easy reach of London. And in my opinion, it's the perfect distance. We're close enough if you want to get into the City of London, but we're far enough away so you really notice the difference in the cost of living. Colchester is the UK's oldest recorded town. We're not really known for our glorious sunshine in the UK, but in Essex, we do have some of the UK's best weather. And one of my favourite things about our location is you can see where we are on the map in the southeast of the UK along the coast. We're really close to beaches, we're close to the City of London, and we're surrounded by a beautiful Essex countryside with some lovely towns and villages. So Essex is a dual intensive university, which means we place as much importance on research as we do teaching, and we're recognised for the quality of our research. We're a university that's really well known for our social sciences. So in particular, subjects like politics, international relations, sociology, criminology, economics, and human rights. These are subjects that we are consistently well ranked for. We also have a really interdisciplinary approach to our teaching, which means that you can pick different classes or modules across different departments and across different faculties to really shape the degree around your interests. We have a wide range of subjects, 3 faculties with 21 academic departments, which I don't have time to go into, but I'll pop a link to our subjects in the chat once this has finished. So a little bit about our student life. We have over 160 sports clubs and societies, so there definitely is something for everyone. And our Colchester campus is a really large, vibrant campus community with lots and lots of facilities, including a theatre, cinema, a brand new sports arena, which has amazing basketball and volleyball facilities, lots of restaurants and hospitality outlets. There's a gym on campus, which is included as part of your accommodation contract. And we guarantee accommodation as well for first year students. So you get to live on campus and take advantage of all these amazing facilities. And we're also recognised for pumping money back into our campuses for students to enjoy. So we're ranked 7th for spend on services and facilities per student. So I mentioned that it's really cost effective to study in the UK, and it's cost effective to study at Essex. So our degrees are 3 years, as I've already mentioned. You could in theory do your 3-year undergraduate degree and a 1-year master's in the same amount of time, but it would take you to do a 4-year bachelor's degree in the US. At Essex, our fees are really competitive. They start at just under £17,000 and then up to just under £20,000 per academic year. So in dollars, depending on the exchange rate, that's somewhere sort of between $21,000 to $25,000. We offer an America's Regional Scholarship, which is worth £3,000, and we also offer some really competitive sports scholarships as well, and an IB Excellence Scholarship that is based on merit and is automatic, and we are also FAFSA accredited. So I'm sure that going to university, one of the main reasons is so that you can get a really good job, and we place lots of importance at Essex on employability. We have some really great placement year opportunities, which is perfect for students that are particularly career orientated, and a really high percentage of our students, 91% of our undergraduate students, are in employment or further study once they've completed. We also build employability modules into our undergraduate degrees, and we offer programs like learning a language and data science completely for free alongside your degree. I'm just going to spend a couple of seconds telling you about my favourite thing about Essex, just how international the university is. We have over 140 nationalities represented in Colchester, so that's almost 40% of our students that are from outside the UK. So you get to study, live, and make lifelong friends with people from all over the world. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would love to hear from you.
Thank you. Our next presenter will be the University of East Anglia.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. My name is Alana Stewart. I'm the regional manager for the University of East Anglia, and I'm based not too far from you across Lake Michigan in the state of Michigan. University of East Anglia is also known as UEA. We were founded in 1963, so we're actually pretty similar to Essex. I think you'll hear in this, but there's a few key differences that hopefully you'll pick up on. But very similarly, again, founded in 1963, so we're a relatively young institution. We are a public campus-based research institution, so our professors that teach the students are doing high-level research to their respective fields. We do have a wide variety of subjects, which I'll show you later, but those are ranged under 4 faculties and 23 different schools. There's 160 undergraduate courses, or what you know as majors. Our student body population is about 17,000 students, just about that, and we have 11% international students representing a wide variety of countries across the globe. We are a World Top 200 institution and a UK Top 25, so even if you may not have heard of us before, we are a great place for you to be studying, and you'll get a quality education at UEA right there. So we are in Norwich, England, about an hour and a half northeast of London by train. You'll see some pictures on the left-hand side of the city. That area is countryside. It's known as East Anglia, so that's why the university gets its name. But we do have our own international airport, and we are relatively close to the beach. It's about a 45-minute train ride to get there. Even though the city is relatively small in comparison to some other places, it is a nice eclectic place for students to make their home for 3 or maybe more years. There's 30 medieval churches there. We do have 2 cathedrals. We also do have the castle, which is the third picture down from the top. We're also one of the most affordable cities in the UK and remains a top city to live in 2020. The other stat that I like to share is that we are named one of the most vegan-friendly cities, and even though you may not be a vegan, it just speaks to the eclectic nature of the restaurant and of the city itself. We are also a shopping destination, so you can see one of the many shopping outlets in that top photo. Our student ambassador that has a perfect quote that kind of encapsulates what Norwich is, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. But she said, "The city seems so historic and quaint, yet so warm and alive. In the blur of the first few weeks, I was surprised at just how much there was to do in and around it, and even still, I doubt I could ever get bored of it. It packs a punch for its modest size, and it really is a hidden gem tucked away in the countryside." So I hope that you'll discover Norwich and find out what it's like to live there. Our campus is about 3 miles from the proper city center, set on 320 acres. You can see a lake on the left-hand side. We are a former golf course, so there's a lot of green space for students to take advantage of. Some of the features around the campus are the sports park. We have one of the largest sports parks in the UK. Our student union hosts 60 or more live music gigs per year. So if you like to be introduced to new music, or maybe want to hear some that you're familiar with, you'll definitely have some of that on our campus or in the music venue that is in the city center. We also do have accommodations. You'll see that marked by the little magenta circles with the houses in there. So we have some options on campus, some a little bit close to campus, but not quite on campus, and then also an option in the city center as well. The library is 24/7, and of course, we do have student support services and a career center to help prepare you for life after university. And then one of the last things I like to point out is the Sainsbury Center for Visual Art, and that is our museum on campus. It may look a bit familiar if you were to actually see it. It's behind me, actually, in my picture. But the reason why is because we are featured in some of the Avengers films as the Avengers headquarters. We do have some brand new buildings on campus, Productivity East, which is for engineering students as well as community engineers to collaborate. And we also do have a new science building that was dedicated by Dr. Jane Goodall. So really nice to see that investment, especially being put into the STEM field. These are our 4 faculties and the schools under them. So you have more specific degree options within these various areas. As Emma was explaining, there are 3-year degrees standard in the UK, although the vast majority of our options will have a year in industry or a year abroad option. So even though this does extend the program to 4 years, you're usually not paying full tuition fees for that additional third sandwich here is what it's typically referred to as. So it's a great option to get an additional experience and to bolster your resume a bit. The ones that are started, the ones that we do well with, or the ones that we're more well known for, environmental science and creative writing are by far the 2 that we are more well known for. But we also do well with chemistry, business, economics, and international development. You do have to know what you want to study. You will apply via Ucas. We are also on that, as are all UK schools. Our requirements are at least a 3.3 GPA, 3 AP or IB exams, or an ACT or an SAT score as marked there. So if there is a subject-specific requirement, we do require that in an AP examination, and a score of 3 is what we're looking for. In addition, we want students to know what they want to study, but have kind of focused in on that through their high school career, and that's what demonstrated academic interest is. So kind of knowing what you want to do, why you want to do it, and how you prepare to do that. Some of our courses, although they're honestly few and far between, will require interviews, and then some may require auditions like drama or portfolio. They might ask for some for creative writing. Our costs for 2021 are listed here. 2022 is still to be determined. So you might see some changes. It's always important to check the website for that. They start at about $24,000 US and go up from there. And the cost of living set by the UKBI is about $13,000 for the academic year. We do have scholarships, and again, 2022 is to be determined, but we usually have some automatic scholarships for our US students, and then ones that you can apply for by essay. We do have FAFSA loan eligibility, so if you are eligible and your family is, you can take those over to the UK. And then finally, on your student visa, you are able to work. So you can work 20 hours while you're in classes and full-time when not in any courses. So please do take the time to connect with us on any one of our social media channels. We'd be happy to hear from you. I'll punch in my email in the chat so that you can find out how to contact me directly. Other than that, hope you have a good time, and I will hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you, panelists, for those presentations. We will now move into the Q&A portion of the session, and everyone can turn their video back on. That would be great. And I am going to share the first question with you all. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And if you can answer in the order that you presented.
Trying to unmute myself, sorry. Well, this is quite timely because I actually was in a school today giving an assembly on personal statements and the whole Ucas process. So I would say keep your options open. Don't be influenced by parental pressure necessarily. Think about what your passion is. Think about what subjects you actually enjoy, and also if you're applying to the UK system, so if you're applying to the Ucas system, you've got 5 choices on your Ucas form. So I would say that there might be some universities there that are asking for higher grades, so have some aspirational choices on there, but have a mix as well, have some realistic choices on there as well. There's obviously we're all based in the UK, and it'd be nice if you could come over for an open day. That's not always going to be that's always not always going to be an option, especially with COVID. But there's lots of virtual open days as a result of that. So it's not just a case of scrolling through the internet. There's people, there's current students, and there's staff like ourselves on the other end of these open days, and happy to answer any questions so that you can get a proper flavour for these institutions as well.
Yeah, I think just to follow on from Ali is to don't put yourself in a box really of what university you're going to go to from the get-go. Ucas is a great resource to do research on what is being offered in the UK. So if you start looking early, you can find some real hidden gems that you may have never heard of, that is just absolutely the best fit for you, that if you hadn't taken the time to research, you wouldn't have found. You may have gone somewhere else and it might not have been exactly what you were looking for. So definitely don't think the first university you come across, it may be the right fit for you, but take some time, look at Ucas, look at everyone's websites, and try to find the best fit for you that's out there.
I think my advice would be, when it comes to the application process, so after you've kind of done your research, just because we're all UK universities here, it's really helpful to know that when you're approaching the personal statement, you really want to do it from an academically focused perspective. So while you might have been captain of the football team or part of some society, you very much want an academic focus. So highlight everything you've done academically in high school that's going to prepare you for the degree program or programs that you're applying for. So it is stylistically a bit different than the kind of literary essays that you write for a US university. So just make yourself a cup of tea, pretend you're British for a couple of minutes, and think from an academic perspective when you're filling out that Ucas form.
I think my piece of advice would be to just take advantage of all the opportunities that you can whilst you're a student. So things like a study abroad year and a placement year. There's such amazing opportunities. When I look back at when I was a student many years ago, I just wish I'd taken advantage of all these opportunities that are so accessible to you as a student. And then once you're not a student anymore, they just don't fall on your lap quite so easily. So yeah, just have a think about whether, I know you're already thinking about studying internationally, but whether you want to get like an international experience on top of your international experience. It's just such great opportunities, such great experiences, and they just make you stand out.
Mine goes along questions, but I always tell students, don't be scared to do what your friends aren't doing. It's okay to not follow the crowd and to do something a little bit different. Because a lot of the time for a lot of us, it's only 1 or 2 students that come from each school. I was kind of in a similar situation, and I can tell you that honestly, as long as you find the right fit, you will find your people at the school, and it will all be okay and all work out there. But that's, doing your research and making sure that you found that right fit, and make sure that you're comfortable taking the plunge and moving across the top.
All right, and our next question will be, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process?
I don't know. I would say I want to dispel a myth about Scotland rather than about the college admissions process. All the blokes, all the men are not wandering about in kilts every day. They do it for things like graduations and for weddings and things, but they're not walking about every day. And if you can understand me, we're not speaking a different language. There is another myth. Some people have very, very strong accents in Scotland. But I can assure you we are speaking English. So that's not a myth for the dispelling a myth for the college admissions process, but I can't think of one just now. So sorry, Amy, over to you.
That's okay. I think one thing I come across quite a lot is that people think if you receive a conditional offer from a university in the UK, it means you've been waitlisted, and it's not actually the same thing. So in the UK, we have students that get their grades usually in August, and so they find out in August if they've made the grades for their kind of top universities that they've applied to. So what happens is we normally will look at your application, and if we do have all the evidence that we need to say, absolutely, you've shown what you need to get in, we'll give you what we call an unconditional offer. If there's something missing, or we want to see an AP test, or we know that you're sitting the SAT and you're going to submit another score, we might go, we really like what we see, we think you're going to be great, here's a conditional offer. We just need to see that one other piece of documentation, and then once we get that documentation, you're unconditional. So we actually hold a spot for you, and sometimes it could be something really simple, like we just need to see your letter of recommendation, and it could just be that we're waiting for that to come from your school. And that's something that's really, really common on Ucas, but isn't common in the US system. So don't worry if you get a conditional offer. If you're not sure what it is, you can always reach out to one of us that look after students coming from the region, and we can always explain your offer.
I don't know if this is a myth so much as just a difference between the US and the UK admissions systems. But in the UK, the decision on your application is primarily an academic decision rather than a holistic approach to admissions. So that's something to keep in mind when you're applying to UK universities. For the most part, admissions officers are very much looking at your academic performance and how you performed in high school in preparation for the university degree. And while the personal statement and the reference are supplemental to your application and certainly a required component, they're very much supporting. So it's not a holistic decision for the most part in the UK.
Mine sort of follows on really from what Shannon just said. I was going to say that a myth of like the more extracurricular activities you've got, the better. And it really isn't like that at all in the UK, because exactly what Shannon just said, it's much more of an academic focus. And if you are going to mention any extracurricular activities, you really need to link those back as to how it's going to make you, as to why you want to study that particular subject, or how it's going to make you a good student at that particular, not at that university, but how it's going to make you a good student. So so it's certainly not the more extracurricular activities, the better.
The one that I tend to get a lot in general, again, is that that's really expensive. I don't know if that's the historic exchange rate between the pound and the dollar, but actually because of other economic factors, it actually isn't as And I think that at the end of the day, realistically, you should lay out all the options and see how much it's going to cost. You know, look at the 3-year or the 4-year plan, depending whether it's the US, the UK, so in England versus Scotland too, with those educational structure differences. To see bottom line what the price is going to be, to find what's going to fit with you best, and also to look at scholarships, look at FAFSA money too. So I think a lot of the times when I have parents who are reluctant to come up to my table, they think that it's going to be really expensive, and then they actually see the price and that it's comparable to most of the time to an out-of-state institution, and they're very pleasantly surprised to start that conversation then afterwards about traveling.
Well, I would just like to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you for all the presentations and for the answers with the Q&A section presenters. Participants, when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-minute survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check the schedule and sign up for more sessions. And you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Illinois. Thank you.